growing global demand for energy as well as technology improvements continue to drive opportunities for energy companies across the world. However, along with great opportunity comes great expectations, and leaders are under pressure to deliver aggressive plans on time and on budget. The organizations who will be most successful are those that effectively coordinate across functions and with partners to translate the science, engineering, and capital to the required production and outlets to market. NextView Consulting has been working with exploration and production companies over the last few years to adapt the integrated business planning process to the upstream value chain. Integrated business planning, or IBP, is a process that has been developed primarily in manufacturing companies over the last several years as competition has required them to be more efficient. While upstream is very different from manufacturing, the need for management teams to integrate their financial planning with operations and marketing using structure and a commonly agreed single set of plans is not different. Teams that implement IBP are more effective in managing decisions, plans, and KPIs. This results in reduced time to cash, reduced rework, better expense management, as well as more profitable decisions. These results are often in the tens of millions of dollars. Here's a few slides to illustrate how IBP works.
In our discussion today, we'll start by highlighting the undesirable impacts of uncoordinated planning. These impacts actually become the benefit areas for IBP. We'll cover some IBP concepts as well as supporting tools and templates that support the process, and we'll talk about roles and responsibilities and then discuss some tips and traps for implementing. I have one slide on NextView background before we get into the IBP material. I'll start with the logos. You can see that most of the work is in energy, chemicals, and consumer products, with some in pharmaceuticals and high tech. Our services are tailored for the upstream industry and built around IBP, which of course improves planning but also integrates with and can include the budgeting process as well as the overall executive management system. IBP can touch many things, and we also help clients with the underlying planning processes, information systems, organizational elements, supply chains, and of course the change management. We also have a training and coaching practice for clients who may just need some directional input. We're specialists in this area, and while the subject matter material is important, it's not just about that, but it's also about results management, accountability definition, leadership development, change management. These are all things that are important to help the client companies improve their overall performance in a sustainable manner. We believe our low overhead model combined with the use of highly experienced consultants is a strong value proposition, and our network enables us to scale projects across multiple geographies should those needs be required by the project. We've all worked in larger, more well-known consulting firms and have led significant projects with major corporations all over the world. I myself have been at it for about 20 years and have taught and delivered this type of consulting across 5 continents, often leading major change initiatives. Okay, this slide shows some of the impacts of gaps in planning and resulting quantifiable areas that IBP can help to improve. Long cycle times, leading to low capital efficiency, underutilized key assets such as rigs, services that aren't synchronized with production needs, leading to missed targets, perhaps poor data visibility. As I say, these are all areas that IBP helps with. It also helps the team make more profitable decisions because of the forward-looking emphasis that the process brings. IBP is a structured leadership process for managing the plan on a month-to-month basis that enables cross-functional planning, decision-making, and performance management across the business. I like to think of IBP as the process that really operationalizes the strategy of the company. We'll have one set of consistent plans used throughout the organization. No more will subsurface or subsea have their version of a forecast, and operations perhaps something else, and marketing perhaps something else, and then finance maybe something else. We'll have one set of plans, as I say. They'll all be the same. They'll all be mutually agreed upon by the functions participating in this process. We'll have a layered system of KPIs to define accountability. We already talked about the cycle time improvements that can help reduce time to cash with improved spend visibility. And IBP needs to be senior management led. If it's not, then it won't be the true decision-making process in the organization. And due to its forward-looking nature, we'll be able to manage gaps better because we'll have more time. They'll come about. I find many clients are reactive to changes that come up in the business, and IBP is structured to help with that. And it's really a good platform for leadership development, improved teamwork, as well as continuous improvement. I won't dwell too much on the history, but will say that IBP has grown out of manufacturing and the need to better balance supply and demand and align functions across a company. In the last decade, there's been more integration with financial planning, and IT tools have been developed to support scenario and decision analysis. While planning certainly isn't new to Upstream, taking this approach used in other industries is, and I'm very excited about being able to share some of that with you today. Whether onshore or offshore, IBP links the underlying processes and will structure the resolution of interfacing issues. Things such as rig loadings or ensuring rigs are matched with ready-to-drill locations, rig schedule changes, permit delays, communication of the most recent forecast, lease expirations, coordination with marketing infrastructure projects, or perhaps communication around risk assessments. Also, if you have improvement efforts going in any of these areas, putting IBP on top of those is a great way to tie efforts together and to tie the results to the executive planning. Here are some examples of business situations that could be managed through IBP. For example, we may be working in a new field, and as we learn more about it, we may decide to shift where we're drilling based on the performance, and how then should our rigs be realigned to support that decision. We may have changes in the operating performance that affect cycle time, and then we'll have decisions about maintaining production and perhaps cutting back on the capital or keeping the capital consistent and realizing additional production because of our operating improvements. We may experience shortages in water, sand, or frac crews or other key materials or services. How then does that affect our operations and our go-forward plan? Corporate may choose to reallocate capital. How then do we respond, or better yet, how can we be more proactive to demonstrate what we would do with more capital? Or perhaps we're the corporate group and we're trying to decide upon capital allocation across the business. We could have infrastructure decisions. Should we continue to truck and or ship by rail, or should we build a pipeline and or hook up with a midstream partner? Our planned production may exceed our takeaway capacity, or perhaps we've got excess capacity. Should we keep that, or should we sell that to others? We could be recovering from a weather disaster. We could be making workover or recomplete decisions versus new drill decisions. Many things come up after the budget's been set, and IBP can help us work through those and determine what our latest forecasts and resulting impact on our operations is going to be. Okay, over the next few slides, I'd really like to get into more of what the meat of what IBP looks like.